Welcome to the most fucking best podcast in the most best world, boys. We are back today, joined by Scotty the Master.
What's going on?
Today, guys, thank you guys for being back. Today we're going to talk about bulking, the gym life, the protein need, how to get jacked, how to take not steroids. Not steroids. I don't take steroids, guys. But again, those are the topics today, and I want to ask you some questions. What have you found to be most problematic in your endeavor to gain as much muscle as possible? Because what are your goals? In a short term.
I've been stuck with I've been trying to bulk cut. Okay. And it's the worst because I've been trying to gain weight because I want to get bigger. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't want to get fat. And
that's what I was so worried about. I was thinking to myself, if I'm training and I'm eating the amount people try and tell me to eat, I wonder if I was going to get fat. Now, in hindsight, I just got super ripped because I wasn't eating enough. And that was my fault. But again, if you're training 4 to 5 times a week, you can relatively eat whatever the fuck you want. You probably shouldn't be eating just Twinkies on Twinkies.
Right.
But if you're eating solid foods that are nutrient dense, like meats, like ground turkey, ground beef, ground chicken. Ground chicken's one thing that I didn't know they even had. I was in the store recently and I saw ground chicken. I had no idea they sold ground chicken.
Sounds kind of gross, to be honest.
It sounds
more.
It just doesn't seem like something that should be ground. I don't know why turkey and beef feel more. They just feel like they should be instead of chicken. True. But when I tried the chicken one, it just tastes like turkey. That's pretty much what it was. It was just ground up turkey.
That's interesting. Usually it's the opposite.
Yeah, it was so weird. But again, with bulking, what I've found is my stomach just gives up. I've had I'll go on binges where I eat really, really well for 5 days. And when I say eat really well, I'm talking about I'm eating a good amount of calories. I'm getting a lot of food in, a lot of nutrient dense foods. But when I have instances where I slip up, I usually slide down that slope because I feel so much better when I'm not eating a ton. My body just runs better off not stuffing my face full of food and shit. But what do you think? Do you think
I agree with that?
It's
no,
hard
100%.
You need.
Yeah, no, I've been trying really hard. I had a full thing of egg whites. And I've just been trying to eat those as much as I can in the morning, and then I'll have some oatmeal to try and get some carbs,
right? And
before my workout, and then I'll work out, and then I don't know what to eat the rest of the day, and I just struggle really heavily, especially with the eating part of it.
Well, off of your statement of the oatmeal, one thing that I've learned recently, and everyone else should know this. And I could be bullshitting. I might just be lying out of my complete ass. But I read a study that showed your insulin spikes a lot more if you eat carb-heavy foods after a fasted state. So obviously when you wake up, you're in essentially a fasted state because you haven't eaten for whatever it is, 8 to 12 hours or however long you're sleeping. When you eat carbs, for whatever reason, again, it spikes insulin. And it spikes insulin a lot more than eating regular carbs throughout the day would. If you had carbs at night, it wouldn't be as problematic as you eating it in the morning. But again, you need carbs to fuel your workout. So the amount of carbs you're eating is probably fine. You just can't have 4 million carbs.
It's like 1 pack of oatmeal.
Yeah, you're going to get insulin. You're going to die. You're going to get diabetes and die.
4 eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I've been having a lot of eggs.
Good. That's good. Eggs have good protein in them.
Yeah. And they're straight egg whites too.
Oh, really? You don't like yolk?
No, there's a lot of cholesterol in yolk.
What I've heard.
And there's a lot of fat.
Cholesterol's good.
There's a lot of fat in regular eggs
great.
too. Yeah, but if I'm eating 4 eggs and then I come back, I eat another 4 eggs. That's 8 eggs in the morning.
I know people that do that. I know people that eat 12 eggs on my Twitter, and I've talked to some people, and they swear by it. But I just feel like I'd throw up.
I had to cut back. I kind of got sick of it. Yeah. So that's where I'm I have to get the ground beef and the ground turkey. Right. I had it probably for a week. And I just haven't been back to get more food. Ooh. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I've just been picking at random stuff.
Right. I wish I liked eggs. I don't know what it is. I just cannot stand the smell of eggs. Kills me, and I cannot ingest them. I can have egg whites if they're just liquid egg whites and I put them in a blender or whatever, and I can eat cakes and shit all day. But just cooked eggs by themselves, anyway, some people tell me oh, if you cook them sunny side up, they're actually really good. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
Yeah, no, I usually just like scramble them, or I just pour it in, and then I just make sure they're cooked. And they're just egg whites. There's really no taste to them.
Do you put anything?
I don't put anything in them. No salt, no pepper.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't. They
It's
don't
be bland as shit.
They are, but I mean, I just eat them really fast, and I have like my protein shake with it too. So,
what do you feel are the best foods in terms of muscle building, or like foods you eat that make you feel the best throughout the day? What foods do you find that make you feel great?
Definitely, probably fruit. Honestly, whenever I eat fruit, I always feel good.
After a workout, you like fruit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. I enjoy some kind of glucose, getting some kind of glucose back, especially after a long, or maybe glycogen. Well, the glucose, like the glycogen, whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But eating after a workout, fruits taste 10 times better, because not only are you getting all those nutrients, but the water.
The water,
yeah.
100%. I think a kind of like a pineapple is really good too. Ooh, because there is the sugar, and it kind of just like hits you.
Do you know mangoes have 44 like an average size mango has 44 grams of sugar in it by itself? That's insane.
I kind of hate mangoes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a mango.
Oh my god.
I used to like mangoes, but then I was like, wait, I don't really like mangoes. I like peaches. Yeah, no.
Oh, peaches are
I kind of got the two.
Ridiculous. Not enough people talk about how great peaches are.
Peaches are the best.
We should create a movement. We should get a petition around the neighborhood, because peaches are undervalued completely.
Peach iced tea is really good too.
That shit is
That's
ridiculous.
Like the best.
That shit is ridiculous. People need to understand this. For me, back to the regular question. For me, the foods that I find that satiate me the best, especially after workouts, are steaks, like ribeyes. I had a grass-fed organic ribeye from Trader Joe's, and that was the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. Expensive as fuck, but the best thing I ever had in my entire life.
Yeah,
How did you cook it right?
I had some ground beef that had some. I don't even know what. My mom made it. So
yeah, your mom makes pretty good
food.
food.
it was the good stuff, right?
Right.
And it had some seasoning, and I just couldn't stop eating it.
Really?
After it just felt like I needed to eat it in a sense. I don't know.
When you buy ground beef or ground turkey, do you like 99% leanness, or do you like a little bit of fat in there? Because now what I've noticed is, if I buy 99% lean ground turkey, it's too dry for me. I like a little bit of fat in there, and same thing with beef. Beef might get a little bit too fatty sometimes, but I like a little bit of fat.
I don't really like. Yeah, I mean.
You like it lean?
Yeah, kind of lean. I mean, I don't really have a problem with the dryness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really season most of my food in general,
mm-hmm.
but I think that I think it tastes a little bit better without the fat.
Really?
Yeah.
I know some people that say it tastes better with the fat, and some people say it tastes better without the fat, and that's the weird thing.
But I kind of have always grown up that way. I've kind of always stayed away. I mean, even when I was a kid, like I never ate McDonald's or anything. I mean, that's a different story, but like even when it comes to milk, like I didn't like 2%, 1% whole milk. Even like now I don't even buy milk. I just get almond milk now. But again, different story.
When you buy chicken, do you usually buy like breasts and tenderloins, or do you buy thighs?
Yeah, chicken breasts.
See, that's the thing. Everyone says, oh, chicken thighs are so great. They have so much flavor. They're so much better because they have a higher fat content. But I love chicken breasts. I don't know what it is. I just can't. And maybe I'm not cooking. It's probably my fault because I cook like shit. And anything that I try and cook, even like the best foods, if I like that steak I had, I cooked it pretty good. But for the most part, I cook foods like shit. And so that's why I try and just buy food that's pre-cooked or something. It's hard. In today's society, the problem is buying healthy food. There's so much bullshit. And it's hard to get nutrient-dense foods that are healthy. That's the biggest problem I find.
Yeah. Oh my. There's a lot going on with that, especially recently. I think the talk about like what's actually organic and then like the price difference between the two. I was talking about it kind of in my business class. I was like falling asleep. It was super boring.
Really?
But yeah, no, it was so bad. But the only interesting part about it was how the prices of organic foods have come down so much because people are finding out that they're really not as necessarily organic, and as people are saying, and how can we really tell? I guess, and like,
that's true.
And as these people have these organic farms, the next farm over, there's runoffs into their farms, and It just like
it does get problematic.
Yeah.
That's a rough thing too. My closing statement would be, if you're buying foods, make sure to stick to nutrient dense foods. That's the one thing. Stick to nutrient dense foods. Make sure you're getting in your protein, because like I was telling you, if you're not getting enough protein in, then you're losing muscle. Even if you're getting low amount of calories but still efficient sufficient protein, you're going to be growing. And either you're shredding or you're blowing up in some way. You know, either you're shredding more and you're gaining muscle, or you're just blowing up just with strength and overall size. What would your closing statement be?
Intensity and volume equals growth.